Liverpool v everybody got the boys back. And Mame, how you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I just missed the Premier League, man. I know
I know.
the World Cup was good, but man, I miss this.
Yeah, and it was almost like these kind of mid-season breaks. Klopp takes the guys on just in time we were actually playing a competitive game. But Gary, good to have you back, man. How you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Yeah. So let's get into it, man. We'll talk about the World Club Cup. I had trouble saying that over the past week. And then we'll do some build up to Leicester. But World Club over in Qatar, obviously. We get through the semifinal, get to the final. I probably asked you guys this before, but I'll stay with you, Gary. Um, how big was this title for you? Obviously, there's people around. Obviously, look, if you support a different team, there'll be things you'll say about this cup. But if you're in the competition, if your team's in the competition like ours, then of course we're proud. But in terms of the trophies that we are going for this season, was this high on your list, or were you kind of just thinking it'd be nice to get it if we don't? No biggie.
No, it was definitely like it wasn't as high as obviously the Premier League and the Champions League those, but it was a priority for me because rival fans can talk about the competition as much as they want. City fans can talk about it, but they don't understand that winning it, you have to you have to win the Champions League to win it. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So it's not a joke. You know what I mean? And City fans obviously, they won't understand anything about winning European trophy, so I'll leave them out of it.
Hmm.
But so it's a big competition, of course it is, and the quality of the opponents showed through the competition. Very very
Hmm.
good teams, especially Flamengo in the final.
Hmm.
The football played at times was very good, especially in that first half. So and obviously they wore off in the end, and we missed a lot of chances, but it was a competitive game. We have to remember we had our strongest team out, and it was great to win it in the end because I really wanted to lift another trophy because as I said, winning breeds confidence. Winning trophies, it's a great habit to have, and you can see now the more finals we're playing in, um, the more experience we're getting in finals. There's less pressure now. We know how we've been in these situations. We know how to deal in certain moments of the game. You know what I mean? And that experience showed through the final against Spurs. The lack of experience showed through the final, and obviously a bit of luck, but the lack of experience showed through the final against Madrid, even when we were 1-1 and we lost our best player, failing to control the game, keeping the ball. That showed through, and we've seen it against Chelsea, against Flamengo. Now we're seeing that sort of experience through the team. As well as we're a brilliant team. We've got fantastic players, but it's nothing if you don't have that maturity in the group, and we have that now. That's why we're winning all these cups.
Yeah, Mama, same question for you, man. Just what do
Yeah,
you rank this maybe, and how important was it to you?
yeah, I totally agree with Gary. Obviously, you don't go into a season and say then, I mean, this year or next year we have to win the Club World Cup, But
Hmm.
it's a trophy, man. It's a trophy. We had to win it, because every European club that goes there win it. Because I know rival fans are talking and shit, but if imagine we didn't win that trophy,
Hmm.
how many mistakes would we get from that
Right,
right now?
right,
You know?
right.
And even more than that, it's good for the club, the name of the club, the players. They get to be watched everywhere in the world, and it's only in Europe that this competition is a small thing. Only in Europe.
Yeah.
In Asia, it's a big thing. In South America, even North America, in
Hmm.
Africa,
Hmm.
it's a big thing. So yeah, we want another trophy. We want everything. So let's just go. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're world champs, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be excited. One small additional minute or two on rival fans. I think we got to be real here. Liverpool have done things. I know this is boring and cliche, but it's just true. The right way, quote unquote. We're not a team who's getting banned from making transfers. We're not a team who's being investigated for wrongdoings behind closed doors. We're a team who are buying world class players for under $8 million. Um, and so I think if these rival fans are really honest with themselves, they have to look at this and sure be envious. And maybe that's where some of the jealousy is coming from. But I think for the most part, they're just on a wind up. They see what Liverpool is doing. They see and they fear how we could possibly dominate for the next few seasons, maybe until Klopp is gone. So I think that's something that I know if I was a fan, I'd probably feel a certain way about it. And I think if all fans are honest with themselves and, take whatever color uniform their teams, the shades off, I think they could say that, Klopp is doing some amazing things, and they'd probably like to have Klopp, to see just the project he worked through. And it didn't come right away like some of these teams, as a Liverpool supporter, you see an Antonio Conte coming in and right away they're getting success. You see with Leicester, they get a new manager right away, they get success, and it hurts. All those years hurt, but to see that it looks to be that it's our time now, and not just in the Premier League, just in football in general, which none of these teams can also say. When Chelsea was winning leagues, they were just winning leagues. They weren't doing anything else abroad. Leicester, of course, didn't do anything abroad. City, nothing abroad. This team is conquering everything, not just Europe, the world. And so, it's more of a. It just makes me laugh when I hear the fans say what they say, because obviously they would all switch sides with this if they could. Sticking with you, Mame. There were some really good performances in the tournament in general, the semifinal and the final. But particularly the final, I thought there were really some good performances, and sometimes that's difficult to really take in and accept while you're watching, because the chances that we miss and squander, which we do from time to time. But who were some of the people for you? I think for me, definitely, I thought Gomez stepped up really big, and it's really important to see him right now. I thought Hendo was good. But who are some of the guys that you really pinpointed in that final?
Yeah, of course, as you said, Gomez, Hendo really surprised me. I really love this performance. I would probably give him man of the match, and not because he was better than anybody else, but I just thought that, we've been talking a lot about him, and I think that he showed a real captain performance that night.
Yeah.
And of course, you have to go with Bobby. He scored. Of course, he missed a couple of things, but Bobby is just a joy to watch, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget he's Brazilian because he worked too much on the pitch.
Yeah.
And when I see him do those stuff, man, I just love him.
That's a good
Especially
point.
when he hit the post, I was like, wow, that setup, the action, the way he flicked the ball over the head of the defender, it was just great.
Yeah, that's just beyond unlucky, man. I don't know how that didn't
Exactly.
go in.
And also Mane, doing all the work, Salah getting back to his form. There were so many
Yes.
positive things, man. There was so many positive things, And I know I've been giving Salah a lot of sticks.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk because we all have,
Oh,
but we're gonna talk about
okay,
that. We're gonna talk about that.
okay.
But
Yeah, mostly. Actually, it's really hard to judge because it's a really different game of what we used to see in the Premier League and even in Europe, and it's mostly due to the things that I think that these Brazilian cared more about the cup than we do,
mm,
So
mm.
they were giving in another day we would have won the game probably easier.
Yeah, something tells me those matches for the South American teams are, for some of them, I mean, because they have, some experienced players, but for some of them, it's probably like the game of their life. I think Klopp might have mentioned something about like them going back home and being heroes. That's a big game for them, and you can tell what it meant to Monterrey and probably even more so to a higher degree Flamengo. But Gerri, same to you, man. Who stood out to you? Then we'll talk more about Firmino and Salah. But any guys that you were really pleased to see that stood out for you in the game?
What the both games or what?
The final, or you can talk about Flamengo, wherever, but particularly the final. I mean, Monterrey.
The final. I thought Gomez played very well in the final. Again, Van Dijk was fantastic. Alisson made a few crucial saves. Henderson, I thought, was very good in the game as well. Chamberlain, obviously, unfortunate with that injury, but wasn't great. I thought Keita was much better than Chamberlain. And obviously I think Firmino was very, very good. Salah a bit quiet, Mane a bit quiet, didn't really get a sniff. Firmino was sort of the one that was making a few things happen. I thought he was probably out of front three, not just because he scored the goal, but I thought his overall game, which is very good to see, and that's what I wanted to see more from Firmino. Forget the goals for a minute, just that sharpness in his play, and I think we saw that much better performance from Firmino. Hope that's him getting back to what he does best. So yeah, I thought Gomez was fantastic, very very good. You can see him just getting into that rhythm now alongside Van Dijk, the rhythm that we wanted him to get into. Because I did actually tell you, when Lovren was playing alongside Van Dijk, I said that Gomez needs minutes because at one point Lovren's going to get injured, and it's probably going to happen during this Christmas period because it's a period because loads of games, Lovren's body can't keep up with it. We've seen that many times, just like last year and previous years before. And that's why it's important for us to get Gomez minutes, and now you can see that that's coming good now. And we're slowly seeing the Joe Gomez of the start of the season from last year, the 18-19 year, which is very very good to see because he's probably him and Matip are just my favorite defenders. Especially Gomez, because I think what Gomez gives you is that speed, that recovery speed that no one can give you. Him and it's a perfect match together. So yeah, I thought for me he was probably the man of the match in my opinion. But Henderson was fantastic, as I said again. I thought it was a good overall performance, but we should have finished our chances. I mean, Firmino had the chances. The 30 seconds, 20 seconds, you should still be putting that in the net.
Yeah.
I think Keita should be doing much better there. Firmino should be doing better on that left foot shot where he hits the post. It was a tough game, but we could have made it much easier. We could have had it wrapped up in 90 minutes if we were more clinical.
Yeah, no, I think that's true, and I think that's something that we've probably said several times on this hangout. It was so fitting to have Firmino have the two games that he did. The winner against Monterrey, and then obviously the only goal in the game in the final. Obviously because he is Brazilian, you can see what it meant to him, but also because him and Salah haven't really been well of late. Salah has been doing really well, and we'll get to him, but it's been kind of Mane carrying us, and then maybe a guy here or there who's helping out. So yeah, to see Firmino get that goal, it's just so fitting in both matches. And I think with Lovren, you brought up Lovren. I think Klopp would have probably been better. Obviously, he knows more than we do, but in hindsight, it's easy for me to say it maybe, but it would have been better off probably just sitting Lovren that first time when he got the knock and not rushing him back. Because what happens, he comes back and he gets another knock, and then he's gone for Lord knows how long. But again, I think right now it's the best situation for Gomez. This is probably what he would have wanted, not necessarily for his teammate to get hurt, but just an opportunity, however it may come, for him to kind of get back to the squad more consistent. So I think that's probably almost a blessing in disguise for him. The midfielder, then we get to Salah. Obviously, Gerri spoke about it. Ox did pick up a knock. When he starts slamming or punching the ground, I'm thinking the worst. The stretcher comes out. He calls that off, walks off. You see the boot at the end of the game. Mame, how serious are you thinking that is going to be? Do you think that's another lengthy timeout for Ox? And if so, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just in the game, exactly. When I saw the action, when I see him like down on the floor, agonizing, I was like, damn, man, I think his season is over. That's what I really thought. But then, especially when I heard Klopp's press conference today, he sounded really optimistic.
Okay.
So maybe, I guess he'll be out for a month or two.
Okay.
Maybe even less if possible. So yeah, I hope that he sounded really positive. So that's a good thing.
Okay. Yeah, I was hoping it wasn't the knee again, but the freakness from some players, man, to get injuries it's football could be harsh, man. But the moment I saw that, I'm thinking, yeah, what Mame said is it's a wrap. Listen, for me, it feels like anytime we talk on here, talk on Twitter chat, wherever amongst our friends, family, about certain players, especially attacking players, it seems like almost somehow they're hearing us, and they're hearing it. Maybe they're reading the paper, maybe they're looking on someone's YouTube channel, listening to somebody's podcast. I don't know, but Salah has really turned the corner, and he's discovered his right foot, and that's beautiful to see. He's getting the assist in again. He's just really, really getting back into himself, and I think that is a scary proposition for other teams. It's one thing if Mane's doing his thing, and maybe Salah Firmino can pitch in here and there, but Salah is definitely getting back into form. He didn't have a great tournament, in my opinion. I'm a little bit shocked that he got the player of the tournament, but I get it. I get the politics in that. I think there were a number of players that could have would have deserved that, and probably even Firmino if we're really gonna give it to someone because obviously he was the decisive element in both of those games. But Gerri, have you noticed this? Well, obviously you noticed this kind of uprising or upturn in Salah, and how happy are you to see that just him? He's just seems to be enjoying his football again.
Yeah, I mean, I said it after Villa, where I said that, I mean, he got subbed in that game like 64, 65 minutes in, something like that. And I said that, he's not playing well. He hasn't had the best of seasons, the best start of the season that, I think he obviously can have because there's a lot more to this game than that. I said that he's possibly carrying an injury. And it actually turned out to be true because you could just see he wasn't comfortable. In his movement, making runs, he just wasn't comfortable, and he was obviously carrying that injury. And the rest that Klopp's given him, played a game against City and then had a couple of weeks rest against in the international break. Didn't play against Palace again. Then played against Napoli. Subbed off early against Brighton. Didn't play against Everton. You know what I mean? So he's had the time to recover. And for the I think something Klopp said about the fluids or something. Obviously releasing from his ankle. So that's all done. And you can see now it's a new Salah, and it's or let's just say the old Salah, the Salah that we know, to learn, what a great player he is. So yeah, he looks back to his best. I thought he had a fantastic game against Monterrey or whatever the name is, especially great assists for Keita against Flamengo. I thought he had a good game again. Didn't have a lot of opportunities because of how sort of defensive of Flamengo were at times.
They're very physical too, man. Yeah, that was tough. It's tough.
We're very defensive, so that it's tough. And obviously these South American teams that fight, we know about them. Obviously these Mexican teams, it's always going to be tough. But I thought he actually dealt with it very, very well. The Monterrey was a better game for him. Same for quite a few players. I think K had a better game that game in the semi-final as well. But obviously with the opponent being weaker, that's obviously expected. But yeah, I mean, Salah's back to his best now. You can see that getting a goal against. Well, he didn't score in the tournament, didn't he? Did he?
Did he score against? Who scored against Monterrey? It was Naby and Firmino, right?
Naby and Firmino, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I'm not trying to be divisive here. I don't understand how Salah won that trophy. I just don't get it. But
well,
it's what it is.
It's obviously because of
Yeah, but come on, man. That's when I saw him holding the trophy, I was thinking, what is this?
Where it's being held? It's being held in Qatar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Quite obvious it's gonna. I mean, for me, it's probably man match him and KO, or maybe Alisson in that semi final. But in the final, I think you have to probably give it to Firmino. But maybe because Firmino didn't play 180 minutes, I don't know. Listen,
yeah.
Obviously, because he played the tournament's being held in Qatar, and it's such a. You can see when Salah was walking off the pitch, getting subbed off, when he started waving around the stadium and the TV was on him, the huge cheer. That he so yeah, I mean it's just one of those. I'm not really too bothered about it, but
no.
It's good. It's good to see him really getting into his stride now, and at such an important period.
Yeah, Mame, the floor is yours. Your favorite player. Talk to me.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm really glad he's getting back to his best form. The thing is with Salah, I mean, it's not only Salah, all the players. You judge them by what they can do and what they have done.
Right.
And no one is untouchable. So I was giving him stakes not because he was not doing well, but it seemed like he wasn't even trying.
Yeah.
That's what more frustrating. That's what even more frustrating. Like making the bad decisions and keep on making them. I know, like a player, especially an offensive player, when you try something that doesn't work over and over again, at some point you try to change. For me, it's just logical. But he will just keep doing the same thing. But what's good now is that whatever he's doing is working for him, at least better. And it seems like he's listening to people, like giving more passes, not forcing shots every time and things. So that's just great, man. That's just great for me.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with the last bit. It had become very frustrating because, and yeah, for a couple of reasons, mainly because we know what he can do, and it did seem like sometimes that he was kind of labored in that, and just wasn't. And if it wasn't working for him, he just kind of gave up on it. So yeah, no, I mean, all in all, I think we were all saying the same thing. It's really, really good to see Salah back in form. We know what he's capable of doing, and to see him doing it, and again, just enjoying it. Some players just need that stretch of games where they're getting goals, they're getting assists, they feel like they're a part of what we're doing going forward, especially attacking players. And I think that's something that's happening for Salah. I also think Naby is really benefiting from this time playing, and we're going to really, really need him. And he's been really, really impressive to me. So I'm a bit concerned. I'm gonna ask you guys. I'll bring it back to you guys, Mommy. I'll stay with you. I'm a bit concerned, a bit, not like oh shit, the season's over, but the midfield now, especially having Ox back. He was looking really good. We're looking almost back to a little bit slight there. Especially with obviously Fabinho still out. I don't know what the timeline is on Genie. I haven't heard Klopp's press conference. Did he mention Genie at all? Or
Yeah, he said
Oh,
that.
he was
He said that
fine.
Matip and
So
Gini were in a very good way, but
okay,
they're playing this game.
okay, I have
No,
to
was
listen
it
to
he
not
it.
mentioned
Okay.
just Gini. He
Leicester?
said Fabinho and Matip. Yeah, Fabinho and Matip. He mentioned
So,
No, but
Gini.
I think Wijnaldum was on the bench against
Yeah,
Flamengo,
exactly.
so I think
yeah,
he
was
probably
he
Exactly.
okay? I didn't realize. I didn't know if he was like suited up on the bench or just there like in support. Was he? So I guess
no,
he
no,
could have.
he had his shirt on and stuff, so he was
Okay,
basically ready to.
okay, okay. So that means that's actually good news then. Um, so yeah, we should be fine. But yeah, I think in closing out just this bit about the World Club Cup uh, winning, and I think Gary pointed that out. You know, winning breeds positivity and looks like more winning. And you know, I think Rafina was a guy who um, definitely was trying to get under our skin. Look, we've all talked about it. Both those teams, I think, were really good at the dark arts, and I think the ref somehow was kind of caught under their spell. I mean, the 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 penalty reverse is fine for me, but what's up with the drop ball? I don't. I mean, did I forget the rules of football? What's up with that? I don't understand that. So, and that was just one of the many strange things that went on. And again, Gary also mentioned this, and I love it that we're finding just different ways to get through games. You know, we're finding different ways to beat teams, and that is really, really a sign of an incredible football team. We don't have to just blitz everybody. I think we're capable of doing it, and if we finish our damn chances, we probably can be blitzing more teams than we are. But we're finding ways to just hang in games, don't allow them anything, and take goals when we really need it. And I knew that goal was coming at some point. I didn't know if it'd be regular time or extra time, but I knew it would come, and I'm glad it did. But we talk about things that we've needed in this team for a long time, and we've gotten most of them, if not all of them, in my opinion. We wanted a good goalkeeper. We felt like we were a goalkeeper away from winning the championship in Kiev, in the Champions League in Kiev. We wanted a solid defense. We've gotten that in abundance, I think. The Coutinho replacement could be Minamino. You know, we've always had good attacking teams. But the one thing that I've wanted, maybe even more than all of that, is kind of that tough guy in the squad, that guy who's going to stand up to people. And for me, it's Robertson. And I love seeing this dude almost just tell Mane like, "Bro, just chill, calm down, I got him."
I
You know,
got it.
goes and clatters him, and still has talk for this dude after the game. I mean, still has lip for this Rafinha guy after the game. I just that's something that we've always talked about. Just where are the guys who aren't going to be soft and just fall down against these teams. Where's that still in the squad? And we're seeing it in abundance now, and I think particularly from Robertson. Gary, just how do you feel about Robertson and just what he brings to the team? Obviously, athletically, obviously as a fullback, what he brings to the team as far as his skill, but that other kind of dark side that he has. How do you feel about Robertson in that?
Yeah, he brings out that real Scottish toughness that he has in his skin, doesn't he? And it was great to see because Rafinha was bloody. He was getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
I was, he claiming every decision. You know, he just pissed me off throughout the match. You know, he was just really getting on my nerves, to say the least. But it was just great that we have someone to just, do something that other fans would do in the game. You know what I mean? To just sort of get one over him, because a few years ago with Moreno at left back, or Glenn Johnson at right back, all these players, and Skirtle and I don't know, Lucas Leiva in defense. We would let them bully us, and we would have let them get in our heads. You know what I mean? This is what I mean with this team. They're not just a great football team, but they're a great team mentally. You know what I mean? They've got so much experience now playing together, playing each other for so many years, that they know how to deal with situations. And they've been in all these situations before, because when teams come to park the bus and when teams come to frustrate, which happens basically every week, when you're a Liverpool player, all these sort of, fighting and tussling and grabbing shirts, you get used to it and you know how to deal with these situations. And we're seeing that, as I said, with Robertson, which is fantastic. What he's done with the likes of Kyle Walker, what he's done with, I can't remember all these situations off my head, but Kyle Walker, I remember. Huh?
Bernardo Silva.
Bernard, all these sort of situations is just great to see. And I love it. Because that's what we would do in the pitch. You know what I mean? That's what we used to say a few years back. Why can't we do this? Why can't we be a bit more tough? Why can't we be a bit more dirty? And that's what you need. You can't just be nice and win every match. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Niceness doesn't get you anywhere in football. You know what I mean? Because as I said, it's a results business as well at the end of the day. So, what Robertson did in that, forget just in that moment, but after the match as well, even though they won, do it over again. I love it. I love to see it.
Yeah. Mame, how are we doing this? How is Klopp bringing in these dudes where people are thinking, let's just go through it all, man. No one knew about Andrew Robertson. Michael Edwards and Klopp did. When we got Genie, we getting a relegated player. I mean, he scored some goals for Newcastle, but he didn't really do that well away from home. Salah, Premier League reject. Mane, just pace and power. You'll never really be able to get a diamond out of that dude. I mean, how are we doing this with all these players that pretty much are coming from more or less nowhere, or no real kind of a serious attention or fanfare behind them? I mean, how are we doing it, man? How are we doing it, my man?
Exactly. We have to say something. I know every Liverpool fan is happy that we got Klopp. I mean, we really needed this kind of manager. Also, you have to see that it's very fortunate for Klopp, because he got exactly what he wanted. Because we saw him at Dortmund, he was that coach that would buy some average players or unknown players and turn them into like world beaters.
Yeah.
And in Liverpool, he has more money. He has a club with bigger history. He can buy. Obviously, in the beginning, he couldn't buy whoever he wants, but he had a bigger budget. Liverpool was quite attractive for some players, and now he can do whatever he wants. He can get any kind of player he wants, and it's even better when you can get those, like, not unknown players, but those kind of players, and turn them easily into superstars. And for Robertson, it's crazy, because the view we had of the British football when we were younger, it was players like Robertson that would always pick up a fight, try to bully people everywhere. So that's just good to watch, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just another feather in our bow. I mean,
Yeah, and not only him, huh? If you see, maybe he's doing a lot of dirty stuff, but we have a bullying team right now.
Yep.
You see, Van
Yep.
Dijk is bullying people everywhere. Fabinho,
Yep.
physically in that midfield, he's bullying everybody. Milner, remember what he did to Neymar? Neymar was like, "Who is this guy, man?"
But Milner's doing that in general. He's doing some really. If I'm on another team, supporting another team, I'm thinking this dude is dirty, man. So because he's not the fastest dude, so he makes up for these really kind of crazy tackles that he knows he's not going to get the guy, and he'll point to the ball so the ref will think he got the ball, but he knows what he's doing. But But Gary brought up a good point about Skirtle and guys like that. And remember that game? Let's take you back. In that game against Watford, where Deeney even came out, Troy Deeney came out after the game and pretty much said, that central defense is like Pringles over there. There's like chips over there, man. It was easy, fish and chips. And you think he's saying that now? Now he's talking about how good Van Dijk smells. So it's just that simple change, and throughout the squad, like you said, throughout this, it's not just Robertson. Now Robertson has the camera on him more of the time, and that's cool because he's definitely one of the guys that stands out. But throughout the squad, there's no one who's soft. There's no one who's not ready for the fight, get stuck in. So to add that to a team that already has pretty much every other area X'd off, it's a daunting task to have to look at this team at the weekend or during the week or whenever you play us and think, how are we going to get through this? How are we going to beat this squad? It's an amazing time right now, and may it continue. Look, we're looking at the Premier League, and I think most of us we got the trophy, we wanted it, but now obviously the main focus is the Premier League and some tough fixtures coming up. To be honest, in my opinion, tough fixtures coming up. The first, on paper at least, the first one is Leicester, Boxing Day. We all know about it. Gary, I'm sure you watched at least a little bit of I know I tried to have that one on, and I had the final against Flamengo on, but from highlights you saw, from what you saw live, what did you see in Leicester? Were you impressed? Obviously the score was it 2-1 or 3-1?
3-1.
3-1, yes. But was there anything about Leicester that impressed you? If you were thinking a certain way about them before that game against City, and then them playing us, did that change your mind, or you think it'll be more of I don't want to say easier, but a game that feels like it's probably not going to be as difficult as it was? Just tell me about what you think about Leicester right now in their current situation.
Yeah, well, what I saw from Leicester was what I expected from them, to be honest with you. The only threat they'd have on the counter attack, which is Jamie Vardy, is you see that. I expected. I know I think you said draw. I expected City to win the game because it's not like Man United. Man United have different areas where they can hit you on the break. Because Rashford, Martial, and James, they only have Vardy. Their wide players, Perez, very poor. Barnes, very poor. Not a lot of quality in there. So it just wasn't the performance that Leicester were ever going to put up. City dominated possession. They dominated the game completely. Unless they could have had another goal maybe, but it was a very poor performance from Leicester. And as I said, Leicester were always going to fall off. And I said this after they beat Villa as well. They beat Norwich City, and they're going to lose to us on Thursday. And that's it. And they're going to be dragged right back into that top four race, just like I expected they would be. So, it's just it's quite from a Brendan Rodgers team, it's nothing that I'm not surprised really, because when Brendan Rodgers gets to tough situations, he always finds a way to mess it up, or he finds a way to bottle it, and all this, and we saw that. So, he just looked clueless on the touchline, didn't know how to respond to any situations in the game. With Perez and Barnes, you look at Brendan Rodgers' signings, I don't think he's made any incredible signings for that Leicester team. I know he bought Tillemans permanently, but he was already there before he came. Perez, I don't think he's anything special. He scored I think he scored 4 league goals, and 3 of them were against Southampton in 9-0 win. I don't think he's anything special. Who else? He signed Dennis Payet. He hasn't scored a league goal, and we're into 2020 in a week or so. I think who else did he sign? He signed a couple of players. I think he signed a couple other players, the youngsters. So Brendan Rodgers, I think he never buys well in the market. His ratio is very, very poor. At Liverpool, you look at it, who did he actually sign well, apart from a couple of players, maybe Coutinho, Sturridge, they were fantastic buys. But you look at who else, that 12-13 season, I don't remember any players are still here. In that 14-15 season, Lallana's here, but he wasn't great under Rodgers anyway. He was poor under Rodgers. Benteke in the bin, Firmino wasn't great under him. Klopp made him a player. If Rodgers stayed on for another year or so, Firmino probably would have been alone at Bournemouth or something. Just like Jordan Ibe. And yeah, listen, I think Brendan Rodgers is a great manager, but he has limits as a manager. And he's doing a great job there, but that's it. If he can get top 4, fantastic achievement. But what I saw from him was something that I expected from the game. A poor performance, no threat in the counter attack apart from Jamie Vardy, and as I said, I think I predicted 3-1 or 2-1 for the game, and I was proved right. Unfortunately, because I think a draw would have been a great result.
Yeah, I don't know why it feels like some Liverpool supporters feel like they can't say anything negative about Brendan Rodgers. I'm not even negative. Just I think it's fair to say he's a decent manager. He's not great. I know he's won in Scotland. That's cool. And there's all these talks about him possibly taking over for Pep at City. Listen, that might be good and all that. I don't know, but
and he also fucked us up really badly. He left us in a very, very bad place when he left. He nearly won a title, but he didn't win a title. So that's irrelevant.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that's the thing. Like people are saying how good the football he played and some of the players. Now he brought in some pretty good players. We get that, but that didn't lead to anything. So I don't know why we could.
All great, but when he left, he said we're still in a transition. I mean, what transition? You've got sacked and this team's still in transition. We're in a transition because you were making poor buys every single summer, which we have and we have to replace every year. You're buying after you just sold Andy Carroll, buying Benteke, another target man after you just sold Balotelli. I mean, where is the sense in that? You know what I mean? Why are you buying target man after target man when you don't play that sort of style?
Yeah, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that Brendan Rodgers was purposely trying to sabotage the club with some of those signings. I mean, some of those signings were just, and I know we weren't great, and so I remember summer after summer we were thinking like, who can we really get? Because we're not getting Champions League, we're not doing really well in anything else. So let's just be happy that that's behind us now. Those days, the fact that I even have to even have a visual of that is kind of almost heartbreaking. But it's really nice that the tables have turned and we're the team that are literally dominating everything. That's just not a cliche or a nice punchline. It's just the truth. So that feels good. Mame, Leicester, man, do you agree? Pretty similar to what we're saying, just in terms of we kind of knew that they would fall at some point.
I totally agree. I always thought that City would win against Leicester, but I was so disappointed by their performance. It was really poor.
Yep. Yep.
It wasn't very different from City Arsenal. I know we make fun of Arsenal, but they destroyed Leicester. Leicester didn't do shit. And the thing with Leicester, what I always said, people told me that they would probably be ahead of City. They would be second. They can't.
I heard that.
Yeah, no, but if you take out Vardy, or if Vardy runs out, I mean, he has like 5 games, a bad form for 5 games. They probably lose like 9 points or 6 points.
They've got no threat in the wing. Their wing play is very poor.
That's what I'm saying. Offensively, they have Vardy and nothing else.
Nothing else. That's why they didn't win. That's why Vardy was the only sort of hope they had in the game, and then that's why United won the game, because they're very
and we all know that Vardy cannot sustain this form till the end of the season. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me that's a disappointing thing. Wolves, Leicester played right into City's hands, and they really had. And this is what I'm talking about with Brendan Rodgers. Where's the tactics? Where's the game plan? Is it simply just catch them off the counter or try to? You can't.
He was right. Sorry. One second. He was just right. He was writing a lot of things as notepads. I don't know what
he always does that shit. Please, he always does that shit. That means nothing.
Yeah, because even if you see the Leicester game at Anfield, okay, it was quite a tight game. They scored, but apart from that, they didn't do shit.
Yeah,
even Vardy was nowhere to be found.
He lost Old Trafford as well. You have to remember that.
It's just I didn't really care who won the game, because to me, all this talk about the battle for second, that Liverpool's winning this league, and I'm 100% sure of that. So, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed as a fan of the game to see Leicester just not even bring the game to City. I hate seeing these teams who play they're scared against City. You got City with a defender in Otamendi, pretty much a makeshift back line, and you can't get at them. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. So again, I can't. The people who think this will be a tough game, which it might be, who knows? Because everyone gives Liverpool their best shot. But I just can't see a one-man team beating Liverpool. That's just not going to work. So
Exactly.
I'm not really too concerned with that.
It's going to be interesting to see how he sets up because is he going to go a bit more attacking because he's at home? You know, what he should have done in that game is, all right, you don't have wing play, use Tillemans and Maddison more. You know, use them to get
or use these great fullbacks who are allegedly the second best in the league. I mean, I don't get it. There was so many things he could have done. Rogers is a clown sometimes, man. He really is.
Man.
All that. I mean, Gerri, what do you like? Give me an idea what you think he might be writing in that notepad because I don't understand.
What he might be writing in the book, I don't know.
I mean, he does that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what he was writing, to be honest, because it's sort of like common sense, isn't it? If you're gonna play against City, you look at the defense, and you think Fernandinho, Otamendi, all they had to do was to play one ball over the top, and Vardy got it behind Fernandinho and scored. I mean, and they did that one more time, and Barnes should have made the 2-2. To be fair, but that's it. Every time they went forward, they looked a big threat because I don't understand that everyone's given teams are giving City the blueprint on how to beat them. The likes of United, or even Wolves, use pace and hit them in the break. You know what I mean? So, and I don't understand why. Well, I do understand because it's Brendan Rodgers. I mean, as I said, he's a great manager, but that's his limit, isn't it? This is his limit. You know, you can't produce those performances to go and sort of go away from home to Liverpool. Liverpool, apart from that sort of that goal we had with that Maddison goal, they had 2 shots on target that game. 2 shots on target. You know what I mean? And we dominated. We missed so many chances that game. We should bury the game. You know what I mean? So it was just they lost at Old Trafford as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's Brendan Rodgers. It's typical Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere around us, teams. It's almost like teams have just given up. I don't. It's hard to really call what the top 4 is going to be this season. I think as it is now, it could be that. I think it's possible that even Wolves or Sheffield United could get up in there. They're playing well. Hey, Gerri, mute your mic, bro.
Yes, sir, bro.
Wolves will be in there. I really like that team, man.
I love watching that team play, man. So our next, Gerri, mute your mic, man.
Sorry, bro. I'm just unlocking my phone. 1 sec. Done.
So our next few fixtures it's Leicester and then Wolves and then who's after that, Mame? Do you know?
Yeah, we have Leicester. We have Wolves on the 29th.
Sheffield home. Okay. Yeah, so those are 3 tough games. I think the Wolves and Sheffield United, particularly Sheffield United, will probably be even tougher than the Leicester game. But those 2 teams, to me, are the teams that look the hungriest of the rest of the teams, to be honest. And I know Wolves, they just figure out how to get more wins. Obviously, I know it sounds pretty logical, pretty obvious, but they're finding a way to just get these draws and not just take that one step more and get the wins. Obviously, the game against Spurs was good. They probably should have gotten all 3 points in that game, but they didn't take their chances. So it is what it is. But the next 3 games, you see us getting 9, Mame, 9 points out of that, or would you take 7 or what?
Listen, from what I know now, I just take 9 points, man. I take 3 points right. Every time. If we don't get the, that's what it is. But we should get the 3 points.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just really hard for me to see where this team drops, and even when we're watching the game, much like the final the other day, us not taking our chances, it's frustrating. It's disappointing again because we know how good this team is. But I think all of us, hopefully at this point, realize that it really doesn't matter where the game is going, how the game is going.
It's the next 5 games. The next 5 games for us are, as you said, Leicester away, Wolves at home, Sheffield home. Forget the Premier League games. Forget the FA Cup. Spurs away, then United at home. After that, then we'll see where we're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's going to be pivotal to see where we are in that period in the table. You know, I mean, I'm saying 15 points because what I'm seeing from those teams, nothing. United are great against big teams, but they're not gonna be great against us, Anfield. You know what I mean? We're gonna
Yeah.
beat them.
I'm still not a
Spurs are
chance. Not
scared.
a chance.
So I think I'm looking 13 at 15 points. If you offer it to me right now, I wouldn't take it because I know we can get 15 points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want us to win every single game because I know we can.
Yeah, no. Thank you for the games there, because that really is a tough. Again, on paper, I think when it comes down to the game, we could probably make it seem less tougher. But I'm excited about it, man. I'm glad there's so many games over this period, and I think we'll do well. So look, let's just do a prediction on lineup. Gerri, who do you see playing against Leicester?
What I want or what?
Yeah, what you want?
I want Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, and Knight Robertson. I want Henderson, Ronaldo, Keita, Salah, Firmino, Mane.
Okay. Good.
But I think it'll be Milner instead of Keita.
You think Keita needs a bit of a rest?
I just think that with him playing full minutes, 90 minutes against in the semi and 120 in the final, I think he'll rest. I think he'll get a rest.
Yeah. Mame?
Well, same as Gerri, but I really think that Keita will start.
Yeah. Now, do you think that's just because of the form he's in, or do you think because Klopp is thinking my options are getting slim, or a little bit of both?
Yeah.
Chamberlain, you might want to sort of manage Keita a bit more better because Chamberlain's out. You know what I mean? The Fabinho's out, so you might want to think I can't have Keita again injured or fatigued and all that stuff. Because picking little muscle injuries here is massive because it's not like you have a week to recover. We've got a game every 2 or 3 days, so
Yeah.
he's gonna miss a lot of games if he's got a little muscle injury. You know what I mean? That's how short spaced these sort of pictures are in.
Yeah. Mame, what are you saying?
But I think that Keita didn't have a lot of football this year.
Right. That's what I'm thinking that too. Yeah.
I know that he was injured and stuff, but I think he could do it. He could do it.
The other thing is though, is he gonna, after what happened to and I don't know. I mean, after what happened to Ox, is he gonna think, let me pull back a little bit, maybe bring him on, because we'd hate to. You don't think so? Okay.
Club doesn't do that, man. And plus, you gotta remember that if Joe Gomez play, we don't have a cover for the fullbacks. So you might want to keep bench just in case.
Yeah. Okay. So sort of different. Okay, so that you're going with Naby. Any shout for any of the front three to sit from the start of this game?
No. Definitely not.
Okay.
Not Leicester. Not against Leicester. If it was another team, probably, but not against Leicester.
All right, let's finish with score predictions. Mame.
I'll go with 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay, Gerri.
2-0.
Yeah. I'm liking these clean sheets lately.
They're gonna get taught a lesson. They're gonna get taught a lesson.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. City got them 3. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think 2-0 is probably a fair result. I think we'll probably have a shitload of chances as we usually do. Might squander a few of them. I just don't really see Leicester getting a lot of joy. Obviously, Vardy is always a threat, and they're at home, right? It's at King Power, right?
Yeah.
So he's always a threat. But again, I think as Gerri said, but maybe both of you said, Harvey Barnes, I don't know what happened, if he's hurt from that clatter against the keeper, but he's not really, they're not using him much. And again, Perez on the other side. I'm wondering if Brendan Rodgers will try to, throw a wrench in there and maybe start Vardy and Nacho together up front. I don't know.
He was Nacho was actually starting these games, but he got injured.
Did he start? Did he start against City?
No, he started against Norwich, but he got 40 minutes in because he got injured. So I don't know if he's back.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not too worried about Leicester. As I always say, we tend to get the best from everybody, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tight game. But I don't really have any concerns with us getting the 3 points or not. But guys, thank you for making time. We'll finish it off there, and we'll get back sometime between now and after the game on Boxing Day.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah, same to you. Same to you guys. Talk soon.
Holidays. Yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.